Howdy folks, it's your old pal Stewiefamily here once again, and folks, we are only one day away from the biggest party of the summer, WWE SummerSlam 2013, live from the Staples Center, home of the Lakers and Clippers in Los Angeles, California, August 18th, 2013, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific. Not only will I be giving my match predictions for SummerSlam, I'll also be giving my opinion on how good I think SummerSlam will be this year, and also I will be talking about later on in this video WWE's newest video game, WWE 2K14. I'll be giving my thoughts on that, and I'll also be talking about the newest wrestlers confirmed on the roster for this game. It looks to be a great video, so let's go ahead and start it off. Now, SummerSlam has 8 matches on the card. In my opinion, looking at this card, I think that SummerSlam is probably the best pay-per-view WWE has had this whole year, besides Payback. It's just a very stacked card. Just looking at this, the only bad match that I see is only one match. So, everything else looks great. So let's go ahead and let's go over this card right now. So this is the matches that will be happening at SummerSlam 2013 tomorrow. First off, you got the SummerSlam Kickoff Pre-Show match between Dean Ambrose and Rob Van Dam for the United States Championship. Then you've got Natalya taking on Brie Bella, and Natalya has the Funkadactyls, Cameron and Naomi, and Brie Bella has Eva Marie and her sister Nikki. Then after that, we'll have Dolph Ziggler and Caitlyn taking on Big E Langston and AJ Lee. After that, it will be, I believe, Cody Rhodes versus Damian Sandow. Then we have Kane versus the leader of the Wyatt family, Bray Wyatt, in a Infernal match. They call it a Ring of Fire match, but it's Infernal match. And next we have CM Punk taking on Brock Lesnar with Paul Heyman. Then we have Alberto Del Rio taking on Christian for the World Heavyweight title. And our main event, I believe this will be our main event anyway, John Cena taking on Daniel Bryan in a singles match for the WWE Championship with Triple H as special guest referee. Now, judging by this card, it's a very stacked card except for one match, the Natalya-Brie Bella match. This is the problem that I have with this year's SummerSlam pay-per-view. The only bad thing about this pay-per-view is that Dean Ambrose and Rob Van Dam's U.S. title match is the SummerSlam pre-show match. Honestly, in my opinion, I think that the Natalya and Brie Bella match should be the SummerSlam kickoff match. I mean, are you kidding me? Dean Ambrose, you're talking about Dean Ambrose, before he got signed with WWE, the best indie wrestler on the market, going up against Rob Van Dam. And you've also got Rob Van Dam, a legend in professional wrestling, wrestled in ECW, and then later on in the WWE, but held the ECW championship so much, the longest reigning television champion in ECW history, I believe, too. So, I don't really understand why the WWE would put Dean Ambrose and RVD as the kickoff show, the kickoff match, unless it's for more buys on their pay-per-view, probably. But I just think that that match should just be exclusive for pay-per-view because it's just too good of a match. That's just my opinion on it. But I think they messed up there by putting Dean Ambrose and RVD as the kickoff match, the pre-show match, and it's for the U.S. title too, you know. So I just didn't really like that. I think it should have been Natalya and Brie Bella. So let's go ahead and go on with the match predictions, shall we? First off, let's go off with the pre-show match, Dean Ambrose RVD, the one we were just talking about for the U.S. title. I think this is going to be a very great match. You know, Dean Ambrose, very amazing wrestler, one of the best indie wrestlers, performed as Jonathan Moxley, was a very talented wrestler, still is a very talented wrestler. I see so much of Brian Pillman in this man, um, which is actually pretty ironic because Brian Pillman was his favorite wrestler growing up. So I think this guy one day is going to be WWE champion. He's a very great guy. I love Dean Ambrose, love the whole Shield, very great. Rob Van Dam, I absolutely love him. Always loved him since day one. And I think this match is going to be a very awesome match. If I had to pick, this is really tough for me because I like both guys, and they're very talented in the ring. I personally think Rob Van Dam is going to win the United States Championship tomorrow. RVD has been getting a big push, ever since he's returned, and he desperately needs a title. I think, honestly, he needs a championship. Honestly, I wish he was World or WWE champion. I wish he won the Money in the Bank from Randy Orton, but it's still pretty cool that he's getting the U.S. title. The U.S. title's prestige is starting to come back, after a long, long time of where it was just treated like complete garbage. Now it's starting to be treated like how it used to be, a great mid-card title, along with the Intercontinental Championship. So, I think, honestly, RVD is going to win this match. I think it's going to be a very nitty-gritty match, but I think Rob Van Dam is going to be your new U.S. champion. Natalya versus Brie Bella. Natalya is a very great wrestler, but I don't care that much for the Bella Twins. I never really cared that much for the Bella Twins, just for the simple fact that the Bella Twins got people fired in the WWE behind the scenes. A lot of, wrestling fans, most notably guys, has wanted to know where has Maria and Maurice, all of them went to. And what people don't really know is Maria and Maurice was supposed to return to the WWE a couple of months ago. But what happened was the Bella Twins did not like them. They got jealous of Maria and Maurice and made up a bunch of rumors to management, and they got their contracts terminated so that they couldn't come back. So I think, honestly, that was very dirty of the Bella Twins to do. When I watch Total Divas sometimes, yeah, I know I'm a guy, but it's still a pretty cool thing to get to look into the world of professional wrestling, especially the Divas side. And I don't really like the Bella Twins that much. I really like Eva Marie, though. I really like Eva Marie. Eva Marie's amazing, along with AJ Lee, my two favorite divas. And I think personally, in my opinion, if I had to pick, I'm just going to root with Natalya, because I like Natalya. Natalya's a very nice person in real life. And she's also a member of the Hart family. A very big fan of Bret Hart and Jim the Anvil Neidhart. So I'll be rooting for Natalya in that one. And then moving on, we've got Dolph Ziggler and Caitlyn taking on Big E Langston and AJ Lee. Love Dolph Ziggler. Love all four of these wrestlers. Love Ziggler, love Caitlyn, love Langston, love Lee. I think this would be a very great match. The Caitlyn AJ Lee rivalry storyline kind of reminds me in a way of the Lita Trish Stratus storyline from back around 2000, 2001. And I really love that one. And I think that's what it really reminds me of. And AJ Lee and Caitlyn has pretty much gotten everybody back into the Karen for the women's division of the WWE. So that's pretty cool that, AJ and Caitlyn did that. Big E Langston, very great wrestler, big powerhouse. Ziggler, one of the best wrestlers in the WWE right now besides Daniel Bryan, CM Punk, and Damian Sandow. And honestly, I think this would be a pretty great mixed tag team match. I think, honestly, that if I had to pick, and this is really hard for me because I like both, I would have to pick Ziggler and Caitlyn. I think Ziggler and Caitlyn will probably end up beating Big E Langston and AJ Lee in the end. They'll have, the good guys win over the heels. I think that's probably what they'll do for that. But the rivalry won't end there. I think it's going to keep going on until probably about Survivor Series. Who knows how long the rivalry and feud is going to happen, or how long it's going to last between Caitlyn and AJ Lee. But I just hope it keeps happening. I love it. Then we've got, I believe what's going to happen next is Cody Rhodes and Damien Sandow. This rivalry I'm very interested in. I absolutely love what the WWE has done here with this storyline. I think it's a very great storyline to have Team Rhodes Scholars split up. I was very sad about that, but I think that it's just a very great match, a very great feud. I loved how Cody just threw Damien's briefcase into the Gulf of Mexico, and Sandow like jumped in it, and then they showed it on Raw the next night, and it was like playing this dramatic music, you know. Oh man, I loved it. And so I think this is going to be a great match. I love Damien Sandow so much. No homo. I think that he's going to be a great World Heavyweight Champion when he wins it. I'm going to mark out so much when he wins the World Heavyweight title. I'm so thankful that Cody Rhodes is finally getting the push that he has deserved for the last 6 or 7 years that he's been in WWE. So he's finally getting that and showing and proving to everybody that he is a top competitor here in the WWE. Honestly, I think Damien Sandow will win that match against Cody Rhodes. I think he'll get revenge on Cody, and I think he'll end up beating Cody in that match. So I think Damien Sandow will win that one. Then we got Kane versus Bray Wyatt of the Wyatt family. And I think that this match, this Ring of Fire / Inferno match, that's really what it was. I mean, it's really what it is, my bad. An Inferno match. And I really like this whole rivalry between Kane and the Wyatt family. I love the Wyatt family. I think the Wyatt family is a very great set of characters that the WWE has put together. This Bray, the Bray Wyatt character is actually a character that they used for another wrestler back around 1995, and it acted the same way. Came out with tropical shirts on, and spoke cult-like, philosophical words, you know. And but it didn't last long. It didn't really last long, and it didn't really sell with the audience. But Bray Wyatt, aka Husky Harris, he has done such a very good job, and I think this is going to be his breakout. His breakout year, my bad. This will be his breakout year, and I think it's going to be a very great match. I love this whole rivalry. Like I said, love the Wyatt family. I think, you know, Kane in the end is his match specialty is the Inferno match. So I think this is a tough one right here, because that is his match specialty. But then again, I think in a way, something tells me Bray Wyatt is probably going to win that Inferno match, and so Kane will get burned and maybe take the mask off. I don't know. Maybe they'll do something like that. That's just what I'm thinking. I'm thinking in a way that Bray Wyatt is probably going to win. Kane's going to get burned and be unmasked again, and he'll end up joining the Wyatt family. I don't know. I don't really know, but I think that might happen. You know, you never do know about WWE. So I think Bray Wyatt will end up winning the Inferno match, aka the Ring of Fire match between Kane. And what else? We've got CM Punk taking on Brock Lesnar with Paul Heyman. I absolutely love this feud. I think this feud is amazing. It's great. It's very edgy. For the past couple of weeks, the brawls that's been happening between Punk, Curtis Axel, and Lesnar has been amazing. I see so much of Steve Austin and CM Punk's character right now, and I really honestly cannot wait for this match. It's got me pumped up. This is one of the matches that I'm really pumped up for at SummerSlam, and I really honestly can't wait for it. I think that CM Punk, the best in the world, is going to win this match against Brock Lesnar. I think he's going to put the beast down, and like he said, slaughter the beast, and he's going to end up winning the match. And I think he's going to get his hands on Paul Heyman as well. Also going on, Alberto Del Rio taking on Christian for the World Heavyweight title. Alberto Del Rio's character is becoming slowly more and more like Eddie Guerrero's, and a lot of people know that. Del Rio, he's a great wrestler, but I'm kind of getting bored of Del Rio. Kind of getting bored of seeing him as world champion, and I think Christian needs to hold the World Heavyweight Championship another time. I think he needs to hold it right now. He really does. I mean, he's only held it, I think, one time. I mean, come on, WWE. You're talking about Christian, one of the best in-ring wrestlers. Edge and Christian, one of the best tag teams besides the Dudley Boys and the Hardy Boys. Just make him not WWE champion, World Heavyweight champion. Got mixed up. They should make him World Heavyweight champion again, and I think he will beat Del Rio for the World Heavyweight title. I really honestly hope he does beat Del Rio for the World Heavyweight title, because Christian, if anyone else deserves it, it's Christian. So that's what I think. And then our main event of the SummerSlam 2013 will be John Cena, the WWE Champion, taking on Daniel Bryan for the WWE Championship with Triple H as the special guest referee. Now this storyline I really like too. I really love Daniel Bryan. Besides CM Punk, Dolph Ziggler, and Damien Sandow, Daniel Bryan is up there with those guys. He is one of the best in-ring wrestlers I have seen in decades. The guy can do so many submission moves. He can reverse any submission move there is. Really reminds me of Dean Malenko and Chris Benoit mixed. And I really like Daniel Bryan. And honestly, I really hope Daniel Bryan does win the WWE Championship, because there is no man in the WWE that deserves it more than Daniel Bryan. He has worked his way up, just like CM Punk did. He worked his way up in the Indies. Dragon Gate, he wrestled there, Ring of Honor, I believe. And he has done so much. And I think that Daniel Bryan should win the WWE title at SummerSlam against John Cena. And I think he will. Now, this could go either one or two ways. This storyline could go one or two ways. Now, it can be Daniel Bryan winning the match with Triple H, counting it right down the middle. Or Triple H could do the unthinkable and screw Daniel Bryan out of the WWE title and be like, I was working for Vince all along. It could be like that. I don't really know. I personally don't think that Triple H will screw Daniel Bryan out of his shot for the WWE title. I think, in my opinion, that Daniel Bryan will win it, because there is this rumor going around, if you haven't heard, that Triple H and Vince McMahon is going to have more of a bigger rivalry than what they already have in the next couple of months leading up to WrestleMania 30. And I believe that they're going to have this match kind of like at WrestleMania 22, I believe, or 23. It was the WrestleMania where Vince's head got shaved. He picked, I think he picked Umaga, and Donald Trump picked Bobby Lashley. And so I think, honestly, what's going to happen at WrestleMania 30, it's going to kind of be like either 22 or 23, whichever one that was. Vince McMahon is going to pick Curtis Axel, I believe. And I believe that, now the rumor is that Triple H will pick the Ultimate Warrior. And there is talks that Ultimate Warrior might return to WWE television in 2014. So that might happen. That just might happen. That match might happen. So I think that, in my opinion, Daniel Bryan's wish will finally be granted. His dream will come true tonight. I think Daniel Bryan will win the WWE title. And if he doesn't, then the internet will explode tonight. Literally explode tonight. Because a lot of people is going to be pissed off if John Cena retains his title. I already know some people that's been watching wrestling for 20 plus years, said that if Bryan does not win the WWE title, and I mean, they've been with him ever since he started, they've watched him ever since he started, and they said that if he does not win the WWE title, they're going to quit watching wrestling altogether. So yeah, this is going to be a pretty big night tomorrow. So that's my predictions for SummerSlam. I think that Rob Van Dam will beat Dean Ambrose for the United States title. He'll become the new U.S. champion. I think Natalya will beat Brie Bella. I think that Dolph Ziggler and Caitlyn will beat Big E Langston and AJ. I think Bray Wyatt will beat Kane in the Ring of Fire match, the Infernal match, and it could possibly later on down the road be Kane got burned and takes off his mask and joins the Wyatt family. I always get the last name mixed up. I want to say White, but it's actually Wyatt, and I get that mixed up all the time. So if I say White, then yeah, just ignore it. So there's that. But I think Bray Wyatt will beat Kane, and I think Kane will later on join the Wyatt family as a heel. I think that actually sounds pretty good. I think that might happen. You never do know, though. I think Damien Sandow will beat Cody Rhodes in their epic feud. And I think CM Punk will beat Brock Lesnar and get his hands on Paul Heyman. I also think Christian will finally win the World Heavyweight Championship again for the second time. And finally, I think Daniel Bryan will beat John Cena to become the new WWE Champion. Very great card, and if everything goes out the way it should, this is going to be the best pay-per-view of the year. It's going to beat out Payback. So I think it's going to be a great pay-per-view. It's going to be awesome. Now, enough about SummerSlam. I've talked too much about that. Let's go on to the new WWE video game that's coming out right now, WWE 2K14. That's coming out on October 29th, 2013, the day before Halloween, I believe. And that's the release date for North America. Europe and worldwide, I believe. No, just Europe. In Europe, it will be released on November 1st. So once again, North American release, October 29th, 2013, the day before Halloween. And Europe, November 1st, 2013. But I actually really think that Halloween is probably the 31st. Oh, hell, who cares? Let's just go ahead and get on with this. So, I think, personally, my thoughts on WWE 2K14 is this. I think 2K14, a lot of people is probably wondering why is it called 2K14, it was called WWE 13 last year. Well, if you don't know, THQ went bankrupt and went out of business. And so, they had to go and liquidize all of their gaming franchises and stuff to different video game developers. Saints Row went to some video game company, I think, that had ties with Activision. I might be wrong on that. And the WWE series went to 2K Games, which is very popular, and they're well known for NBA 2K, the NBA 2K series, 2K11, 12, 13. Those basketball games, in my opinion, the best basketball games ever released. And I'm really happy that 2K Games went and bought the rights and all that to the WWE series. I think that's pretty cool that they did that. Very great that 2K Games went and bought it, because they did a really good job on the NBA series and the MLB series, and I won't be disappointed. And judging from what I'm seeing right now, that I've been hearing that's been confirmed in the new game, I'm not going to be upset at all. So, the gameplay improvements. There's a lot of gameplay improvements with this game. There's a new navigation system, there's striking changes, there's a very great improved reversal system that I'll talk about here in a minute. Also, for the first time, catapult finishers will be in the game. 7 new OMG moments will be in it, and thank God they finally did it, improved near falls. So, also, besides all that stuff, WWE 2K14 also has a new player campaign called 30 Years of WrestleMania. And basically what 30 Years of WrestleMania is, you play 45 matches, and it features classic WWE footage. If you've ever played Legends of WrestleMania, and you went through the Legend mode, and you've seen all the classic footage, and you had to relive the matches. It's kind of going to be like that. I'll be talking about that also here in a minute. I want to talk about the gameplay real quick, because a lot of people want to know, how's the gameplay going to be? So the gameplay is got a very great improved reversal system. Now, you know and I know, all the other games that THQ made that was WWE related, the reversals wasn't really that great, didn't do a lot of damage, only kept them down for a couple of seconds. In 2K14, when you start the match and you reverse, it won't do a lot of damage. But if your wrestler, if your opponent has medium to moderate body damage, then what will happen is that when you reverse a move that that wrestler's doing to you, it will do tremendous amount of damage to your opponent and leave him in a very groggy state. Kind of like actually in real life when you watch Raw or SmackDown. Also the catapult finishers. Basically you throw your opponent up in the air and you can do a certain type of finisher. Shawn Michaels, I watched a gameplay video with Shawn Michaels and Macho Man. And Shawn Michaels threw Macho Man up in the air and did the Sweet Chin Music, and I thought it looked awesome. So we know one thing that we can't do in WWE 13 that's going to be on this game. Also with the new improved near falls. But the catapult finishers, Daniel Bryan's got one too. Shawn Michaels, we already know, has one. But Daniel Bryan has one too, where he throws his opponent up in the air and then catches him and does the yes lock. It doesn't really look that good whenever he throws him up in the air. I think it looks better, and I think the reason why they did that for Daniel Bryan was that if an opponent was to do a diving move onto Daniel Bryan, he could catch them and turn it into the yes lock. So that's pretty awesome. That's really awesome. Another thing that you can't do in WWE 13 that you can do in 2K14 is some wrestlers will have like double moves. Okay, like Ryback will now have the option to pick up two wrestlers and do a double shell shock. John Cena has the option to do a double attitude adjustment. So this is pretty cool that you can do that. A double shell shock, a double attitude adjustment. That's pretty cool. I can't wait to see that. Maybe we can see Steve Austin get the double stunner. That'd be pretty cool. So that's great. I'm really looking forward to that. Great improved reversal system. And another thing about gameplay, the presentation looks amazing. Now, on an episode of Monday Night Raw or SmackDown, when the wrestlers come out to the ring and you see their nameplate, it usually has their Twitter name right next to it with the Facebook, YouTube, Twitter logos next to it. That will be in the game right next to their name, which is pretty awesome. I don't know if you can do it for custom wrestlers yet, but that would be the shit if you could do that. And also, when I watched the gameplay video for John Cena, when John Cena was coming out to the ring, and it showed Cena as WWE Champion, not only did it say WWE Champion, but it also had the WWE Championship behind the Raw logo, just like in real life. So I thought that was pretty cool too. Another thing about gameplay in 2K14, when you Irish whip somebody into a ring post, you will not only have the option to just bang their head on the ring post and throw them back into the ring. You now have the option to do a big boot while they're groggy on the ring post. So that's pretty cool. I guess you'll see more ring post moves also. So it's pretty cool that they're finally getting able to do something like that. Another thing about 2K14 that's so cool is that when it shows replays after you do like a signature move or a finishing move, it will now have sponsors next to it. Like when you watch an episode of Monday Night Raw or SmackDown and it shows a replay, it's like, time to check out that replay, sponsored by Doritos Jacked. It will have that in it. So in this game, we already know one sponsor that has agreed to do replays, sponsor replays in the game, and that is Tontitos. Now, Tontino's is the company that is best well known for making pizza rolls. So I thought that was pretty cool that they got the company that makes pizza rolls to advertise the replays in 2K14. So they're really the presentation on this game is just unreal. Looks just like real life wrestling, and I knew 2K would do a very good job on this. Now, the 30 Years of WrestleMania Mode. It's a nostalgic gameplay mode that recreates nearly 3 decades of WWE history. That's right, 30 years. 1980s to today. Going to include more than 45 matches, classic WWE footage, and many legendary characters. They revealed the whole roster for the 30 Years of WrestleMania Mode, and it's a pretty big one. I mean, a really big one. Rumors is going around also that Kurt Angle will probably be in the game. WWE uploaded Kurt Angle's Titantron to their YouTube channel, so maybe, just maybe, we can see the Olympic gold medalist come back to a WWE game for the first time, I think, since 07 or 08. Now, here is the roster for the 30 Years of WrestleMania Mode in 2K14. Alberto Del Rio, Andre the Giant, Batista, Big Show Retro, Bret Hart, Brock Lesnar Retro, Chris Jericho Retro, CM Punk, Diesel, Edge, Hulk Hogan, 1980s, Hollywood Hulk Hogan from WrestleMania 18, JBL, John Cena Retro, Kane Retro, King Kong Bundy, Mick Foley, Randy Orton, Macho Man Randy Savage, Razor Ramon, Ric Flair Retro, Ricky Steamboat, Sergeant Slaughter, Shawn Michaels Retro, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Ted DiBiase, The Miz, The Rock Retro, Triple H Retro, Ultimate Warrior, Undertaker Retro, and Yokozuna. And also, for the first time in a long time, Goldberg. So, a lot of wrestlers in this game making their first appearance. Macho Man Randy Savage, this is his first appearance since WWE All-Stars, and I think that came out in 2011. So, you know, you got that. A lot of these legends are from Legends of WrestleMania. Sergeant Slaughter, I know, Ted DiBiase. What really dumbfounds me is, why is The Miz listed under all those? You know, that's why I don't get. Why is The Miz? That's the one thing I think they messed up on with the roster reveal, was having The Miz there. They should have replaced him with somebody else. But, you know, I'm not complaining. This is Razor Ramon's first appearance in the WWE video game series. I think, I might be wrong, but I think it is his first appearance in the console generation. Razor Ramon was on the arcades. Every single time I went on Community Creations, everybody had the Razor Ramon CAW first. Now they won't be able to do that anymore because he's now officially in the game. I'm really happy. Razor Ramon's finally in it. Macho Man's finally in it. Really happy about that. Really happy King Kong Bundy's back in it. Hulk Hogan, that is a big one right there. A lot of people think, oh, well, Hulk's going to get mad because he's signed with TNA. Actually, he won't. Hulk Hogan is actually signed a deal with WWE just for legend stuff like that. To be in video games as a legendary character. So that's great that they finally did that. But it really shocks me that they put Batista back in it after he quit his contract. And Goldberg, out of all people. Goldberg's in this game. So, possible Goldberg return there? I don't know. But this is going to be a pretty great game. That's the roster so far. And also, just like the Stone Cold edition of WWE 13, there will be a special edition for 2K14. It's called the Phenom Edition. Now, I have the Steve Austin edition of the game, which came with a very great cover featuring a metallic Stone Cold skull. It also had, when you took that cover off, it had Stone Cold Steve Austin on the cover instead of CM Punk. And inside was Stone Cold Steve Austin's actual autograph. And it's legit. It's not faked or anything. I smelled Sharpie on it. It's legit. I would get it and show you guys, but it's hanging up on my wall. And it was really, really tough to get up on there. So, I got the Austin 316 edition. It was really great. Loved it. The Phenom edition of this game they've outdone themselves with this special edition. The special edition of this game will have it will be encasted in a coffin-like tin that says the Phenom edition. And when you open it up, there is the Undertaker on the cover instead of The Rock. And also, in that special edition, you have a DVD, just like how you did in the Stone Cold version. It's from Undertaker's new The Streak DVD about WrestleMania and him with the streak and all that. And you also get Undertaker's autograph, just like how you did Steve Austin's. You get the Ultimate Warrior 2 with that. And the main reason why everyone's spazzing out because of this Phenom edition, you get a code to unlock the biker, big evil character of The Undertaker. So that's pretty cool. I really love that biker Undertaker, and I'm really happy that you can finally get it in the game. So that's pretty cool too. However, you know, it's really expensive. It's $99, I think, on pre-order right now, which is like, I think, $20 higher than the Steve Austin edition. I paid $85 to $87 for the Austin 316 edition, and really pissed me off to know that the special content that they included that was only supposed to be for the Austin 316 edition later on became downloadable content for everyone. And I think that they'll probably do that for Undertaker's biker character later on. I don't really know though, because 2K, I don't really know, because when NBA 2K14 came out, they had you had to pre-order it in order to get the All-Star weekend and all that, and they never put that as downloadable content. So it could just be just for that special edition. If it is, then I'll get it, but I might just get it just for Undertaker's autograph too, because I'm a big fan of Undertaker. So that's pretty cool that they're going to put that in the game, and pretty much that's all we know about 2K14. I think it's, you know, the only thing that I request that they put in WWE 2K14 is GM mode, and I think honestly they might put a general manager mode into this game, because if you've ever played any NBA 2K game or any sports game that 2K Games has ever made, you know that they have a mode called the Association, where you take over a certain franchise in baseball, basketball, or something like that. They'll probably do that for Raw and SmackDown. I really hope they do that. If they do that, if they do put General Manager mode into 2K14 like that, this game will be the best wrestling game, in my opinion, since SmackDown vs. Raw 2007. So this is going to be a very great game, I think. It's going to be very well worth it. I tell you, 2013 is going to be a year of awesome. You got Grand Theft Auto 5 coming out next month, and I'm going to be gone for like 10 months because of that game, and plus 2K14 the next month, new Call of Duty coming out, Saints Row 4. It's just wild. It's crazy. So if I can't get this Phenom edition, then I'll just pre-order it and get Ultimate Warrior, you know. But I think 2K14 is going to be an awesome game. So that's all I've got to say. Don't forget to watch SummerSlam. That is at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific, at tomorrow, August 18th, 2013. Don't forget to go and pre-order 2K14, buy that Phenom edition, and if I have any more news on 2K14, I'll let you guys know. Alright? Okay. This is Stewiefamily saying thanks, goodbye, and I will see you again.